Okay, we're here at Clonakilty Agricultural Show 2018, and particularly this year there's an emphasis on safety, and it's farm safety and work safety. And I'm joined here by Jim Dockery. He's going to talk to us a little bit about farm safety, and I suppose the importance, Jim, on this. What's the importance of it?
Well, I suppose farming is one of the most dangerous occupations. This is a rural agricultural show, and there's no better place in the country you could get to talk to farmers, because the data we have, super Sunday in the middle of June, some silage has been made, a little bit of pressure off. We had a terrible bad winter, and now we're into a little bit of good weather, and we feel that this might be a good place to hit them with some farm safety messages. Farming is one of the most dangerous occupations in the country.
What can farmers do in their own farm to improve things, farm safety-wise?
Well, I suppose there's a number of areas, and we've kind of covered some of them here. We've started, say, with tractors and machinery. Tractors and machinery tend to be the highest. 60% of the accidents that happen with tractors, machinery and livestock, so those three sectors. So if we look at tractors first, things like getting up and down off the tractor, parking the tractor to get down to open the gate, pulling the handbrake. Simple, very simple messages is what oftentimes cause these accidents. Then you move on to the attaching of the machinery. It's getting in between it. There's a third person or second person there, somebody reversing into a trailer, and they get squashed or attached or while they're attaching the machine. The other area then, I suppose, is operating, where somebody in bailing out the field or whatever, and they get down to do something. There's simple procedures there. Turn off the damn thing. Turn off the PTO and turn off the tractor. If only people had done that over the last 20 years, we'd save so many lives.
I'm joined by Peter Guthrie, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about what happened to him in relation to farm safety. So Peter, you might tell me your story.
I suppose, look at I was very involved in the farming and very involved in the construction. I had anything up to 20 lads working for me at the time of the boom. Then when the boom kind of burst, I started back into the farming, but the attitude kind of I had, sure, it'll never happen to me. I'll be grand, I'll be okay. But I went up farming one morning, and I put on a pair of dairyman's overalls, I call it, the one with the waterproof leggings on the legs, and I had a steel toe cap Weltons on as well. And when I went up to the farm, just before dinner, the knee came out through the waterproof leggings. So at dinner time when I went home, I just took the overalls off, knotted them around the front of the waist, rather than going to all the trouble of taking them off. And then I cut the overalls, the waterproof section off them. Now, even though the overalls were 8 or 9 year old, they looked perfect, only just at the waterproof section. So I was just amazed how good it was, but I left a small tail on the right side, about 4 to 6 inches long, 150 mil long. I went back up farming, and my son came with me, and when we went up to the farm, we decided we'd pull out the diet feeder and hooked it up to the tractor. And when we hooked it up, I noticed that when I spun the diet feeder, that I knew there was a knock. I heard a knock coming from inside the machine. So I said I'd get down and I'd investigate it. But as I walked around the back of the tractor, I decided what I'd do was I changed the 4 hydraulic pipes, put them in the correct sequence. So the next thing was, the PTO was no cover on it. It was only just barely ticking over, 200 RPM. And I went to stand back, and I noticed I couldn't feel the ground with my left leg. So I looked down and I seen the leg was gone clean off me. At that stage, it had a grip on me. The overalls was wrapped around the shaft. It pulled me over, threw me over on the ground on the other side. It did fierce damage to the right leg. I'll show you in a second. But I also broke the 2 bones in the left arm on the same evening, I was lucky. The paramedics were there, I suppose, half hour, 40 minutes. They came out to the house. But I never lost. I was always conscious through the whole lot. Got into Ballinasloe that evening. I got from Ballinasloe, then they gave me a Garda escort to Galway, UHG in Galway. I spent there until Christmas time. They let me out at Christmas. Got into Dunleary February, and I stayed in Dunleary until about June, learning how to walk again with a prosthetic leg. I suppose, look, a lot of lads don't realise, but the PTO shaft, that's what we're doing here today, in the covers, they're simple. They're not that expensive to put on, but the PTO cover and shaft, the evening of my accident, a brand new one the following year cost me €140. But I was putting it on the long finger. I said I'll do it again. But the leg that I'm wearing today is costing in the region of €40,000. It has to be charged at night. It has given me great comfort to get around, but it's the damage that's been done to the right leg that gives me the bother. The problem is it's this leg. It gives the problem.
Inspector, and I'm based in Clonakilty station.
You see?
Contour station. So basically we're just going to talk here in relation to V8 trailers, what they're wheeled into,
It stripped it all the way from here, right down to about there. I could see the sinews in my leg that evening, and it took a long time. Actually, this is 2 flaps that came from up here, and the first flap, they weren't sure whether it was going to here or was it going to take, so they had to do a second one to make sure that it did, So I'm lucky I'm still here, and they came from up here on the thigh, but like there's metal fixation in there. There is a little bit of cellulitis coming in and infections, and that's what gives me the bother, So look, I'm lucky. To all farmers, what I would look to do is bring the wife, bring the kids out, look at the farm, and if the kids are annoying you about putting on a new cover on the shaft, make sure you do it, because you could get caught. More still, if it was your son or daughter or your wife that got wrapped up in it, would you be able to live with yourself? We heard George Graham earlier on talk about depression. I'm lucky I never had that, I never had any flashbacks from the evening of the accident. I'm able to get on and talk about it, but there is a lot of people out there that he's not able to talk about their accident. They want to hide it. I don't think they should. I think they should come out, tell how simple the accident happens. I suppose farming, we're a tough crowd. We don't like to break down, like we're macho men, and that is the big thing. What I've seen is, since my accident, I do need help, around the farm. I'm not able to farm livestock and got more into tillage, went back to college, got a degree in health and safety, so now I've become an expert for farm safety.
Listen, thanks Peter for your good work and continued success.
Thanks very much to Clonakilty for having me here today. I really appreciate it, And to get the message, as I said, look, if we save one life here today, or, one injury, it'll be a great day's work.
I joined here with George Graham. He's renowned for sheep shearing, but he also has a very important message to share with us.
Yes, sheep shearing is my big thing. I've actually worked in 13 different countries, and I'm one of the very few that's worked in every one of the 32 countries in Ireland. But my big thing that I do a lot now is farm safety, general health, and I suppose my biggest one of all is mental well-being. I've been through the long dark tunnel, and it's probably the most difficult place you ever could be in life. But I'm one of the very fortunate ones to come out the other side. It's very difficult to do that on your own if you don't look for help and support. And I suppose one of the big things with any of these things, to solve a problem, you have to admit that you have a problem first, and that's a very difficult thing to do with mental health and mental well-being. And maybe in my case as well, I probably didn't even know that I had a problem when I started, so it was a learning curve for me, and I'm still learning, and I probably will be that till I finish. So yeah, but I'm one of the very lucky ones to come out the other side.
You're sharing a very important message about mental health. It's probably one of those, it's probably kind of behind it. It's not a physical illness, so people kind of, I suppose, neglect it a little bit. But do you feel there's more awareness with it now?
Yes, I certainly feel there's more awareness. I think we are more open. I think such as yourselves are doing a great job by interviewing people and getting that message out there. There is help, we're not alone. But the big problem with mental health, when you have the problem, you do feel totally isolated and you are alone. That's a major problem. But I think to be able to talk about it, that's a big thing, and to help other people to try talk. Because at the end of the day, talking is the number one. If you can talk about the thing, it certainly helps and can help a lot. But we're all different. There's many different kinds of it. Some people need medication. More people need different things. But a good chat can be very, very important for a lot of people. It can help a lot of people as well.
I feel that somebody in every house should have some idea of how to deal with an accident, and especially on the farms, which is what we're talking about here today. We have the different things that you can do to help, and I suppose the main thing really is to be able to do CPR on somebody, which is what we're demonstrating here today. There's also a special course available for farm first aid, which is just 4.5 hours long. It doesn't take that's all it takes to do it, because sometimes these courses take days and weeks to do, but it's a quick course. You'll be shown how to do CPR, deal with bleeding, breaks, fractures, etc., things like that, and it's a very good course.
Next, so just if you find someone just on the ground, you know, you just first of all you just check the scene safety. So just have a quick just look around, and then you're going to just kneel down and just shake and shout. So hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? So if he's unresponsive, you're just going to tilt the head like this and just check for breathing. So 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000. So you say, okay, so you go call an ambulance and come back to me. And then you're going to just start compressions. So you're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So you just do the 30 compressions, and then you can just place the mask, just pinch the nose and tilt the mouth. So you do 2 long breaths and you just keep going over and over the cycle, okay?